10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of JBC Podcast. This is going to be episode 2, talking about the NFL. I'll be your host, Jacob, and I'm joined with Brody.
Hey guys, what's going on?
And I'm also joined here with Chris.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. So today we're just going to be recapping the weekend of some NFL football. Actually, a little bit
Crazy games.
Yeah, I was about to say some crazy stuff that I did not expect. For one,
Well,
the Cowboys
some of
showed
these-
out. You know,
No.
I mean, shocker. For once, you got something to look up after performance by Arkansas.
they play the
My
Eagles.
prediction was right. I told you.
Yeah.
Last time we talked NFL, they're gonna get their butts in the weight room and get their play calling right.
Yeah. Hey, man, they were on something. They were doing good. I mean, the Eagles run defense was, or at least has been, super solid all season, and they wound it up. I think Zeke rushed for over 100 yards, which was the first time that had happened since like last season, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah, I said the Eagles are going to win that. I feel bad now.
He
Yeah.
finished with 111 and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, so stout performance. Ravens Seahawks game was a bit of surprise. The Ravens are good, but I thought Russ and the Seahawks and the boys would pull that one out.
No, man, Lamar's showing like a real QB now.
Yeah, they were chanting MVP after the game.
Hey, he's doing great, man. Why not?
I was about to
He
say with Patrick
deserves a
Mahomes
run.
hurt. Yeah, with Patrick Mahomes hurt, that opens up one extra spot.
He's going to have to do good these next couple of games while he's hurt, though.
Yeah.
Do you think though that Lamar can perform good enough to overtake Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, if he stays on the track that he's on right now and the pace that he's on right now, I would say so, simply because he just beat Russell Wilson. So
That's something that probably they're gonna look at too if Lamar does keep on this track of playing good, everything, because he only threw for 143 yards but had no touchdowns, but then he also rushed for 116 and had a touchdown as well.
yeah.
But he did beat Russell Wilson this game, and that could be a key point in determining him as MVP.
And what did I say? What did I say when we were watching the Seahawks game, or the introduction, Brody? We were talking, and they brought up a stat, and it literally said that Russell Wilson has not thrown an interception in like 200 and plus games, like 247, something ridiculous. And I literally said they're jinxing him, and he threw his first pick against the Ravens. So that's what I'm telling you, man. There's another little clip to add to the when the commentators jinx the players. Usually it happens like kickers, he ain't missed all season from under 40 and wide left.
Oh, here comes a shank.
Here
Hey,
comes
did
the
you
shank,
hear
yeah.
the ESPN or MLB on Twitter might have jinxed the Astros pitcher? Garrett Cole hasn't lost in like some amount of games, and they said it today, and he's starting. So if he loses, I'm gonna be very pissed. But okay, back on the Seahawks and Ravens, we'll actually see Lamar test it. He's actually off next week, but come week 9, he does play the Patriots. So if he does good against the Patriots, like he did this past week, I don't see why not. I mean, pretty crazy.
I think all he has to do, they've only allowed like one passing touchdown all season. I think he just has
the Patriots.
Yeah. Of course,
He just needs a passing touchdown.
If he throws for a passing or maybe 2, then put him up there.
Oh, he will, dude.
Put him up there. But yeah, that'll be a huge game. It'll be interesting to see how legit
Lamar actually is. See if he actually is the real deal. Which he has a good year. I think he could do it. I mean, Buffalo's quarterback didn't do like too bad, but their defense is really good. But I don't know. We might be surprised. I think we'll be coming back on the podcast being like, "Holy crap, guys! He really did it."
I mean, his legs has been the factor all year, and I mean, he's leading with 576 rushing yards. I think he was like before this week, which I would assume that he would stay at the spot he is now, if not, jump a couple spots. He was like 8th on the season of rushing yards amongst like everybody as a quarterback. So well, it'll be interesting to see how the Patriots play against. I don't think they've. For one, I don't think they played against a good offense yet, and two, it'll be interesting to see how they play against like a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, that's going to be really shocking.
Um,
But another good game that I kind of want to talk about is the Saints and Bears. You think Saints putting up 36 with Teddy Bridgewater against the Bears? You think they have a good shot this year now? Because
Well, I
Bears
mean-
have a good. They don't. I mean, they have an all pretty good defense.
oh, their defense
Obviously,
is
they
top
have
three.
one. They obviously have one of the best, defensive linemen. That's what he plays. Yeah.
Dang right. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they got a top
So-
three defense.
I don't know. I mean, putting out 36 with Teddy Bridgewater, it's kind of really big right there.
Well,
So,
Brody, what do you?
Yeah,
think
Brody,
of
what do you
the-
think?
What do you think about
Teddy
the
made me
Saints?
look like a fool.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say,
know.
what do you think about the Saints there?
Yeah. So
Mr.
I'll,
Seahawks is going to beat the
I'll
Saints.
apologize on that one. I
I was about to say, dude.
I didn't trust Teddy.
Well,
I didn't
shit.
trust
Maybe-
him. But after this game, yeah, probably say the Saints automatically have the edge over the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Good, I like that.
I mean, he's still
Well,
got a lot of weapons around him, and Kamara didn't play in that game, correct?
Yeah, no, he was out. Latavius
So-
Murray, he did pretty good. I
He
think he had
stepped
2
up.
touchdowns, 2 or
Yeah.
3 touchdowns.
He rushed for 119, had 2 touchdowns, and then
Yeah.
the top receiver was Michael Thomas with 131 yards.
Shocker.
Still pretty good. It's kind of crazy how Latavius did as good as like AK has been doing. And AK, I don't know, but I guess when you have Alvin Kamara and you really know without Drew Brees, you're going to play run 90% of the time because you don't know if Teddy's going to throw it, but
Well,
he threw it this game. It looks
like I said, man, everybody's underrating Teddy Bridgewater. He used to be a good quarterback in
Oh, I'm not
Minnesota before he
saying
got
I'm not
hurt.
calling him underrated. I mean, yes, he was hurt, but you don't know how someone's going to bounce back from being hurt.
Yeah, it was a nasty.
I mean,
injury.
Cam Newton, when he got hurt, Cam Newton's kind of been, falling a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
So you're never too sure, but he wanted to stay with the Saints, so he did, and now look at him.
I know. I think
Saints might have a future in him.
yeah.
Not
Drew
a long
Brees has
future.
got-
but,
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's still relatively young. Drew
Yeah.
Brees has probably got 3 more years, maybe something like that.
maybe not even that. Maybe
Yeah.
like 1 or 2,
Yeah,
2,
that's-
3.
That thumb injury
Did
may
you-
have set him back a little bit, so he may.
But I mean, if he it's kind of crazy because if you look at his stats from the previous year, every year he's been doing better than the previous year. So would you really retire on that, or would you just keep going? But I guess it comes down with the family, and I want to see my kids grow up. So I guess that kind of plays a factor. See if he actually stays in the league.
If they win a ring this year, if he comes back and then leads them to a ring, do you think he retires?
Yes.
No, I don't think he retires. I think he gives it a year,
Okay.
kind of like get Teddy, kind of work up Teddy, or if they pick up a quarterback, kind of work him up. Maybe get him kind of motivated and get into the system. That way, when he does retire, Saints are not left with the quarterback that doesn't know the system as well as Drew Brees. So I give it about a year. If they win this year, I say a year.
Okay. That's fair. Brody, you said you think he's gone.
I think he's gone because I think that's the way he'd like to end his career.
That's fair.
Even though,
Like Peyton Manning.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even though, would it be smart for him? No, not exactly, because as you said, he just gets better and better every year. He hasn't shown any signs of slowing down, and like you also said, he needs to be able to teach these younger guys. Like, I guess if they keep Teddy will start from now on once Drew Brees is gone. He needs to get in there and help Teddy learn the offense more, learn the playbook, what to do, what not to do.
Yeah, I think. But okay, what was I about to say? You go, Jacob. My train of thought just went off the track.
I would agree. I think quarterbacks like Drew Brees and probably Phillip Rivers. I think Big Phil will give it 2-3 more years. If he
No,
doesn't
I
win a
don't
ring,
think
he's
that.
out.
Well, not from the way they've been looking this year.
Well,
I don't think.
I think he'll come back. Their
I
team's too
mean,
talented. They're just he's having a down year. They got too many studs on that. The whole.
When did Philip Rivers get in the league again?
Oh, he's pretty old.
You think I think Big Ben retires here in a couple years.
He needs to.
Maybe not. Maybe in a year. Well, he was retiring, remember? But then he came back when they drafted Mason Rudolph.
He needs to retire. He needs to. I mean, he could maybe join the staff and help develop Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, I think they have a good one in Mason. I just think it's you're kind of young, kind of get some experience.
He got injured and he's getting old.
Oh, that was
he's
bad.
got the rings. I mean, I would just hang it up.
So, do you think Tom Brady keeps doing as good as he's doing? You think he's going to stay in a little bit longer? Because if you can put Tom Brady and Drew Brees in the same situation. They don't run the ball, so they're always just in the pocket, have the time and all day just to throw the ball. So I think they just I don't know, dude. Those guys could stay in the league right now for a good while because they're both just freaking outstanding good.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sense for Tom to retire. I mean, he'll probably play in his 50s for all we know.
Shoot, man, he might play till he's like 90. He's just good. I mean, they're just insane. But you know what else game kind of surprised me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was about to burp. Was the Texans and Colts?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Texans was going to pull through with that.
Yeah. I mean,
it was just kind of a crazy game.
Colts they're showing that they're, just because we don't have Andrew Luck, that doesn't mean we're not a, respectable football team. And I mean, their defense has actually been surprising.
Jacoby Brissett went off.
Yeah, he did.
What was the stats?
326 passing yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he said Andrew Luck.
And they were booing Andrew Luck whenever he retired that preseason game.
Low key. What
kind of fans are y'all?
What if Jacoby was beating out Andrew Luck at the start of the year for the QB battle, and
that's why?
And Andrew Luck came down, and that's why he retired. I mean, obviously,
you could be right.
I mean, obviously, the injuries play a factor too, because I mean, he hasn't been healthy, and it's been just an unfortunate career. Because I mean, obviously, he was a great quarterback, but what if just since the injuries have set him back? And Jacoby was showing out that, they didn't Colts fans would not have been okay with them starting Jacoby over Andrew Luck.
Oh no, they were booing him when Andrew Luck retired.
So
obviously, that could have been a big thing.
A possibility. You never know.
That's an interesting theory, but me personally, I don't think that's right.
Wow. Okay, just shoot it down. That's fine. Hey, it was just it's
a very interesting theory.
You never know.
It's very interesting to wonder about.
The best.
Yeah, it was just a thought. You never know.
It was the best theory.
But I mean, the Colts defense shut down Deshaun Watson, and of course, I will say, I feel for Deshaun Watson. As a former offensive lineman that gave up 0 sacks in my highly decorated high school career, that dude has been sacked more times than I have ever seen in my entire life. He has the worst offensive line and has had the worst offensive line for the past 2 years. And he's still putting up, insane stats. So, if he doesn't get I was watching, it may have just been a post game, and Booger McFarland was talking about how if he doesn't get a better, if they don't start drafting or, picking up guys for the better offensive linemen, that Deshaun Watson's body is just going to wear and tear, just like Andrew Luck's, and he'll be out of the league sooner than what we would think. And I mean, he's got the talent. I mean, D Hop's one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league right now. He's got some solid tight ends. I mean, Will Fuller's a speed demon.
But he's kind of injury prone too.
That's also true.
He was really good when he first came in, and then I think he tore his ACL or something, and that kind of screwed him.
Yeah. So I mean, they got the talent. It's just that offensive line needs some work. I mean, imagine him having the Cowboys' offensive line.
Yeah, hardly ever get sacked, and be able to show off that running ability.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's handicap that offense is they don't want to run him as much simply because he's taking a beating. They don't want to wear his knees out because he does have some brittle knees.
Since we're talking about quarterbacks, what do y'all think about how long do you think Phil Mariota retires?
I think it'll be a while. I think he'll
You think he'll
I think he'll get
request a trade
traded.
and get out of there?
I think they'll wind up trading him. I mean,
Probably play backup or something.
yeah, well,
He's not a bad quarterback. It's just his.
It's the situation. I mean, I just
I
don't know if he fits
thought
that
he. I
offense.
mean, he came in. He was pretty good, and then they just been downgrading him.
He just doesn't fit that offense. Like at Oregon,
No.
they were an air raid, RPO. They had speed, and
I think he would do good at maybe Houston.
He's
are you
not
gonna
starting
start
over
over
Deshaun,
Watson?
though.
Yeah.
I know, unless Deshaun retires because he's getting hurt.
I mean,
Megatron to poach.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Well, of course, Washington's not really.
I mean, he has some good receivers. He has Adam Humphries and Corey Davis, who aren't too bad.
Well, they're not necessarily on my top.
They're
of
not
the-
top.
No, but they're not like.
They're
too
not top
bad.
tier.
I mean, he doesn't have like a go-to. I mean, he has
Line.
Delaney Walker at tight end, but other than that,
He doesn't have
it's
a
like,
primary receiver.
yeah.
No,
And that offense doesn't fit him. Like, I mean, they're more of like they're run heavy because they have Derrick Henry, who's a workhorse, and they don't necessarily have, like you said, that go-to receiver. So it's not necessarily what he's used to. So I would say if I was him, I would request a trade and at least give like another destination one go. Because I think he's too talented to retire this early.
Yeah,
It's just my opinion. Of course,
it's kind of weird.
He's
I mean, I would
interesting, too.
retire if stuff wasn't going my way.
Well, that's
Maybe not.
being a quitter.
Who knows? He might be trying to get some more money. Maybe at that point you don't care about playing, you just want money for your family and yourself.
And,
Okay.
well, there's a game that was like, I don't know about surprising, I guess, because it was like a torrential downpour the whole entire game. But the 49ers are still undefeated. Granted, they played the Redskins, but they pulled one out in a torrential downpour.
That slide was pretty dope.
By Nick.
Can we get some special effects on that? That was pretty cool.
Nick Bosa sliding in. That reminded me of the Blake Griffin deal when he was with the Clippers. You remember that when he tried to dive for the ball out of bounds?
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of.
Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about the Cardinals. They
3-0,
they beat
baby.
the Giants.
3-0 in their last 3 games.
Well, they're stepping on it.
Let's see here.
We can also talk. See, what do you say?
Daniel Jones outplayed Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
But Chase Edmonds had a day.
Yeah, he popped off.
He did.
126 and 3 TDs. And Daniel Jones threw for 223 and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley had 72 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
The Cardinals, low key, it's their defense that's what's holding them back. Their defense has been slack. It's not as good as it used to be. Their offense, they have some weapons. I mean, Kyler, Chase Edmonds, David Johnson, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald. They got some weapons on the offensive side. It's just that.
I mean, yeah, Larry Fitzgerald is a big name. I mean, he's still one of the best, or not one of the best in the league right now, but he's
like Jason
one of the
Witten.
best all time.
He's like Jason Witten, always open and will always catch it because
Yep.
there's that running stat of he has more tackles than drop targets. He has more tackles than drop targets. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is wild. He has like 29 drops to 37 tackles, and he's been in the league for like 15 plus years. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
That's
impressive. Well, I mean, while we're on the topic of quarterbacks, we had the battle of two goats last night in a hard fought game that was back and forth the whole time, and
two goats.
Yeah, Sam Darnold and Tom Brady.
Okay, you want me to look up the definition of what a goat is? Let me just say, Sam Darnold, were you playing with the freaking blindfold the whole game?
Did you hear his post game interview?
I hope
Seeing
no.
ghosts.
Hear what he said? He legit
What did he
said he
say?
was seeing ghosts.
Yep, I saw it. I saw that.
I don't
What?
know if that's
You
the
just had the
Seeing-
worst performance of all time, and I was seeing ghosts. What?
it's Nathan Peterman's stats is what he put up. I think he threw for under 100 yards with 4 picks and a lost fumble. If I
He
remember.
threw for 86. I don't see
Sam
the picks
Darnold's on
or the
drugs.
fumble.
I know he threw 4 picks and a fumble, and I think that was the first. I think him and Nathan Peterman are the only 2 quarterbacks to throw 4+ picks and throw for under 100 yards, which is elite company.
The opposite elite.
Yeah. That game was, and again,
He did say it. I just had to look it up to make sure y'all were just messing with me.
the Patriots
Sam Darnold
defense
was mic'd up.
has been great this year.
Horrible.
But to this point, they have not played anybody. It's just,
Exactly.
That's why I can't wait for this Ravens matchup when they play a somewhat competent offense.
Decent.
That's
Decent
gonna be-
offense
obviously
that can
their
score
defense
some
is-
points.
Exactly. Obviously, their defense is good. Jamie Collins, Dietrich Wise Jr., the McCourty twins, Stephon Gilmore's one of the best corners in the league. So their defense is good, but they've been tested zero
times.
Yeah.
Well, they did play Sam Darnold.
Twice? Haven't they played him twice?
The Jets?
Yeah,
No, I don't
thought they
think
played him
so.
in week 3. Maybe I'm mistaken.
No, I don't think anyone has played twice yet.
Hang on.
But
The Jets? No, they have not.
okay.
Well, wait. Scores? Yeah, you're right. They did not. No, they did. It was 14 to 4. Yeah,
Yep.
my bad.
Okay.
I looked and I was like, wait, that's not right. And I was like, oh yeah, you're all right. What the
So
crap?
they'll have the Browns and then they'll play the Ravens.
Yeah, it'll be.
The Browns are going to get tested. They have the most goated quarterback. Baker Mayfield, the most choking quarterback, the most hyped up quarterback, the most overrated quarterback. Baker Mayfield.
He might throw for 5 picks that game.
Dude, let me explain. This
He's
dude
going-
goes
He's going
to
for the record.
Oklahoma, does good, talks some shit. Then he's like, I'm going to go to the NFL. What do you get? Number 1 overall to the Cleveland Browns? Yes, he broke a record. Congratulations. What was it? Most passing touchdowns for a rookie quarterback? Wow. Wow. Now he has coming next year because I don't think he had OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Am I right?
No.
They both came the next year?
Yeah.
Or this year? Then they come next year. He has two receivers that are better than the ones he had. This dude is ass. This dude looks like Sam Darnold right now, man. Like, what? How do you go from having the most touchdowns as a rookie quarterback to passing for what, like 4 completions for like 20 out of 20 for like 100 yards?
And then just going, well, good thing Nick Chubb is here.
Yeah, that's your only. You can put any quarterback. You can put Sam Darnold at Cleveland, and he would do better than Baker. At least he has 2 receivers. I don't think the Jets have any receivers.
I mean, they got some decent. They got Jameson Crowder, Robbie
Oh,
Anderson.
true,
and they picked up Demaryius Thomas.
They don't have anywhere near like what the Cleveland has. So.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You could put anyone in that system, and look at that. But you had Baker Mayfield, the most overrated, overhyped quarterback. He needs that accomplishment he did last year taken away, thrown in the garbage. I don't even care.
Strip it.
I hate getting in
Strip his
arguments
Heisman.
on Twitter. I get in arguments on Twitter when they're like, "Well, he passed for the most passing touchdowns last year as a rookie." Okay, cool. Congratulations. What is he doing this year? Nothing.
Well, they won 7 games. I mean, he they won 7 games, and
That's
it's
congrats.
also coaching.
Yeah, they got a
we
new
talked about
coach.
Earlier, Tom Brady's as good as he is because of Bill Belichick. Like Bill Belichick, on that what show that we were watching, that podcast earlier today, they were talking about how one of the guys played Tom Brady in college and never thought of him as that guy, and then they get to the NFL and all of a sudden Tom Brady just starts going up and popping off because of Bill Belichick. Maybe Freddie Kitchens isn't He doesn't know how to develop quarterback.
Well, last year, Baker Mayfield threw 14 interceptions. He's already thrown 11 this year. And
he's
it's
gonna
not. He
surpass
still has
that
more
this
games.
week when
Oh,
they play
yeah.
the Patriots. He's
He
gonna
threw
surpass
3.
that.
He's thrown interceptions in every game he's played in.
That's good. That's good.
He has one game against the 49ers. He didn't throw a touchdown. Every other game, he threw one touchdown. That was it. This one right here, 100 yards against the 49ers. Okay, they have their defense ain't too bad. They against the Jets, 325 yards. Their defense, and then so that's not too bad. But you have that was a 13.4 QBR against the 49ers. You are ass, Baker.
That's Nathan Peterman status.
Yeah, well, him and Sam Darnold. Maybe he was seeing ghosts.
Well,
Maybe they went to New York this week.
well, I will say
Need to get ghost adventures out there on the field to make sure there's none out
Ghostbusters.
there. Yeah.
Ghostbusters, get your ass out there.
Sam Darnold's QBR was 0.7 with a rating of 3.6 against the Patriots.
That's worse than Nathan Peterman.
That is horrible. Oh my
Sam
God.
Darnold, the new Nathan Peterman.
Dude,
Yeah.
poor Le'Veon Bell. Like, yes, he was a
No,
crybaby.
he's
and sat
happy
out.
there though.
Well,
I don't know how you could be happy.
Yeah.
Well, because he's
With
not
your-
around
with
stupid
Adam Gase
Antonio
as your
Brown.
head coach, high every game, and no
Hey.
offense and no defense.
I still think he's not there anymore. The Arizona coach, the big guy, who was his name was with the long white hair.
Which
You know what I'm
one?
talking about?
Is it?
Arenas or Arians? Bruce Arians.
Yeah, he always
Oh,
looked
yeah.
high to me.
Oh, he was never happy.
Eh,
Never.
I don't blame
He
him.
looked high.
I don't blame him.
You know who I don't blame?
What?
OBJ and Jarvis getting the hell out of
Where? Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Well, I mean, I just think I don't know if Freddie was the answer. Like, I don't. 'Cause they got so much talent. Like, if
Yeah, that's
a
what-
good coach. I mean, you gotta have. I mean, you can have all the talent in the world, and if you don't have a good coach, it's not gonna matter.
Hey, you know what though? They did beat the Ravens, 40-25.
I know they're so inconsistent. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they came out and stopped the Patriots by like 40 points.
No, I'll be okay. I'm maybe over exaggerating. Maybe bigger, bad. But you gotta understand, you have two young receivers that if they get the ball and they miss and they get an open field, they're 90% of the time going to score and they're going to get down to the 5-yard line. You have the two most explosive wide receivers right now, and you should be putting up numbers like Lamar is. Like, maybe not as big as Tom Brady or Drew Brees, but you should be putting at least almost 300 to 400 yards a game against teams like, maybe not Seahawks, maybe, okay, the Titans. They only scored 13 points against the Titans.
I mean, the
Like,
Titans do have
what?
a good defense, but still, I agree with your point.
And then, they're going to go play the Dolphins. If he doesn't put at least 400 yards against the Dolphins, there's something wrong. I'm getting a new quarterback. Let's go in last place. Let's pick up Tua. Let's pick up Joe. Let's pick up Jalen Hurts. Let's get a quarterback that can come in.
Which
I do. Well, never mind. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say, which I think what makes what Nick Chubb's doing even more impressive, because Baker hasn't been able to do anything like through the air. So obviously teams are gonna play the run to force him to try to throw, and Nick Chubb's still putting up 607 rushing yards with 6 TDs.
Nick Chubb's good.
That's impressive. So
I mean, without a passing offense, that's pretty crazy.
yeah, so I think if Baker can just like settle down, or if he's not the answer,
Get the cocky out of his freaking ass and understand
stop
you're
doing
not
those
the best
commercials.
quarterback.
I
stop
gotta
those
tell you, bro,
commercials.
those commercials of getting in his head, man. He's securing the bag over there while forgetting to throw the ball.
So something I
not-
guess you could argue is with them picking up OBJ and Jarvis this year is that somebody in this offense does not fit. The system that they want to try to run doesn't fit like a OBJ or Jarvis or Baker for some reason, even though he did good last year. Adding OBJ and Jarvis completely screwed up their system.
Well, I'm pretty sure one game, OBJ didn't even get targeted once. And I don't think Jarvis has been targeted a lot either. I'm trying to see how many times they've been targeted.
While you look at that, I will say I did see a stat where it said like you can't blame it all on Baker. The Browns have the highest drop percentage out of the entire league. Like they're dropping like close to 20% of balls thrown to him.
Well, okay. The OBJ has 29 receptions for 436 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 TD. Which, how does he have what? Wait, timeout. No, this ain't. Okay, we have 1 TD, 15 yards / reception. I don't know what that means.
That's 15 yards reception.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see the slash. It didn't have the slash. Okay, yeah. And then you had Jarvis, 25 reception, 439 yards, 17 yards reception, and 0 touchdowns. So I don't think they're really the problem. I mean, they're getting obviously averaging 15 to 17 yards. Well, and they got yards, but it's just
like I said,
you gotta be able to throw there. Yeah,
they've dropped 20% of passes. Granted, I haven't watched every Browns.
Well, Baker is 56.57% completion rate.
Yeah.
Who knows? They could both have actually 3 touchdowns apiece or something, depending on the drop.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it's confidence. They came in and had a lot of swagger.
They were hyped.
Yeah. And then
a lot of hype.
They got absolutely smoked by the Titans to start the year off. And I don't know if that just sit because I will say, aside from Jarvis, Jarvis is a leader. That dude's strong, but every other star is kind of a drama queen. No offense to OBJ or anybody like that, but they kind of they look for the drama, and especially Baker Mayfield loves media, loves attention, and he's got a little drama queen himself. I don't know if that just made him spiral out of control. If they're struggling with self-confidence, but there's no chance they should be doing this bad.
He got asked to do that commercial because he saw Aaron Rodgers doing all his commercials, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna join you now, but you can't do Aaron Rodgers."
Yeah, well,
Aaron Rodgers is the only one who can do commercials and be good.
Aaron Rodgers is putting up. He can walk the walk. He's
walking.
He's popping off this year. Speaking of that, they stomped the Raiders Sunday with
that they did.
An incredible performance by Aaron Rodgers. The Packers are looking pretty good. They got their defense is looking good, and
they have the best quarterback in the league. I'm just kidding. Yeah, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, I mean he's
top 3.
Yeah,
it's definitely a surprise. I don't think any of us were thinking, "Oh, Green Bay's gonna be sitting at 6-1 through week 7, and Aaron Rodgers is gonna be just a flamethrower."
It's just because they haven't had that defense that they've used to have, and now he has a defense.
Back with Clay Matthews in them.
Yeah.
Which is honestly hilarious that Clay Matthews isn't there and their defense is just going off.
Well, that's because they don't get those roughing the passer calls for Clay Matthews.
That's true.
Staring at the quarterback.
Clay Matthews getting BS roughing the passer calls.
Oh, that makes me so mad every time I see those. I'm just like, this game has turned into such a soft sport.
100%. You can't hit a quarterback. You can't even hit a quarter. If you're falling on the ground and you're diving, you hit them below the knees. It's a freaking penalty.
When the Steelers played the Bucs at the beginning of the year, whatever. I can't remember his name. Somebody hit Big Ben on the helmet, literally like this, as he was trying to pass rush, and Big Ben was started falling down, and they threw the flag for roughing the passer because he tapped him on the helmet as he was running by.
Did you watch the Devin White one last year? Against Mississippi State? The dude threw the ball and he literally pushed the guy in the chest and he got targeted.
Yeah.
I can't stand watching football.
For that made my blood boil.
It's football. It's football, man. He's for a quarterback who's going back to throw the ball, I'm gonna jump up to make sure you can't see anything. But if I hit you, that's freaking roughing the passer. Or my momentum is coming fast at you. And granted, let's say I'm 280 pounds, which I probably am, but I'm coming at you while you're throwing the ball. How the hell am I supposed to stop? Well, after you throw the ball, I'm going to fall on the ground and break my knee, break my leg because I can't hit you?
Yeah.
Stop being soft if you're a quarterback in the league. But then again, you know why? Because the quarterback brings in the most money.
I mean, they do. I mean, if Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes got hit, even, somebody flicked a booger at him, they're getting ejected. Literally
Someone even looked at him
thrown
wrong.
out
Like,
of the game.
Targeting, you've got 4-year
targeting's
sentence.
stupid.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about this the other day. I don't know if I was talking to y'all, but we were watching it's crazy how in college football I know we're talking about NFL, but college, you have the targeting call whenever you hit someone in the helmet, but then you know how people grab face masks and they turn it all the way around and the helmet goes all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
How is that not a penalty like targeting? Because you can break someone's neck by that.
Oh, I know.
We know. Arkansas had that running back, Raleigh Williams. He broke his neck and almost was paralyzed. Because
That's
of
what I'm
that.
saying. Why is that not a big penalty? That's a 15-yard penalty. No,
Poor
that should be
Raleigh.
either warning or you're kicked out.
I agree.
That's
I agree.
that's stupid. They need to okay, I can't hit you helmet to helmet, but I can grab your face mask and turn it all the way around to snap your neck. But that's fine. It's 15 yards. Who cares?
I mean, in action
Freaking
movies, do they try to
stupid.
kill people by headbutting them, or do they snap their neck?
No, they headbutt them. They go,
Yeah.
oh, y'all just okay.
But
Hey, but we were speaking about receivers. We're speaking about trades. There was a big one. There was kind of a big one. There was a couple big ones. What are they? What happened, Jacob?
Well, Bill Belichick somehow worked his magic, and all of his receivers are hurt. And he went out there and he knocked on the Falcons' door, and he was like, "You guys got a receiver for sale?" And they were like, "Well, anybody but Julio Jones or Calvin Ridley." And he was like,
I'll take Sanu.
"I'll take Sanu. Yeah, here's a second-round pick." And what's funny is Sanu. Okay, this is a little bit scary because Sanu has a perfect passer rating because he used to be a high school quarterback, and the Falcons have used that. Like he's thrown some bombs, and now that the Patriots have that in their offense, I mean he's a little old, but
Yeah,
I mean,
but he's still not bad. I mean,
I know. I mean, Bill
He's
Belichick
pretty
does
crazy.
it again. Literally,
Who knows? He could be a top receiver coming into that offense.
Yeah, and they're
hey, he could be a Hall of Famer like Randy Moss. All right, but anyways, when I think about it, I'm just kidding, guys. But it's pretty. I mean, Tom Brady's just getting a lot of weapons. Now, when we get on a discussion later about Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, that'll be a good one to talk about. But the other big trade was
Manuel Sanders to the
Manuel
49ers.
Sanders.
Which I think that's even bigger. I mean, yes,
that is a lot bigger.
Yes, Sanu's going to the Patriots, whoop-de-doo, but Tom Brady, like, he makes any receiver, better. So it's not like it's not that big of a deal.
Hall of Famer.
Well, I mean, it is, but it's not. But the 49ers, who are already 7-0, they have not a whole lot of weapons on offense yet.
Kittle.
I mean, yeah, they got George. Matt Breida has surprisingly been popping off. He's a speed demon too. I didn't realize how fast he was.
They have that. I think he's a running back, isn't he? No, yeah, running back. Wait, who's that running back?
Matt Breida.
That's not what I'm thinking of then.
They
who's
also
who's
have
the short guy?
Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman's there now too.
Is that the short guy and the guy who's like 5'6" or whatever?
He's
he's 6'1".
He's like a third
6'1".
down back. He's out of the backfield, receiving back.
He's your Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
So fast,
But
small.
they don't necessarily have a whole lot of receivers. Do they still have Dante Pettis out of Washington?
Their top receiver against the Redskins was Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Hendrick. Yeah, Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne playing.
Jason Bourne. But so they have George
Hang on
Kittle.
here.
That is a big one.
They do have Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's a good one.
Was he at the 49ers for a while? Or wait. That's who we're talking about.
Their rookie has actually been popping off. Deebo Samuel out of South Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about him.
They do have Dante Pettis. But pretty much after that, like, they don't have a necessarily stud. And I think Emmanuel Sanders, he's looking healthy after that Achilles injury. So that's a big plus to that offense because their defense is solid.
You think it's going to help Trubisky?
Huh?
Think it's going to help Mitch Trubisky? Oh.
You did it again, Chris.
No, I know. I'm looking.
Garoppolo.
I know. I'm looking at the Bears. I'm looking at the Bears. Yeah, I meant Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah.
I'm looking at the Bears.
I mean, I think he's like 13-2 as a starter for the 49ers, and he just got another weapon. So, I mean, I think that just helps the offense out, pretty much immediately. So, I think them being 7-0, defense has already submitted themselves as real and solid, and their offense is kind of struggling, but they're still winning. So, Emmanuel Sanders coming in definitely gives that offense a boost. So, it'd be interesting to see how they finish off the season.
So the last time that Emmanuel Sanders had a decent quarterback was with Peyton Manning, correct?
Pretty much, because then it was like the Trevor Siemian, Brock Osweiler, Paxton.
Yeah,
What
Lynch,
was-
Brock Osweiler?
What was the last year of Peyton's career?
15?
15 or
15, 14, 16.
So
Yeah.
through the years of 2014 through 2016, in 2014 he had 101 receptions for 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. 2015 he had 76 receptions, 1,135 yards, 6 touchdowns, and then in 2016 he had 79 receptions for 1,032 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he can be a top like thousand yard receiver.
And that was
Yeah.
with having Demaryius Thomas as well. So
And wasn't it also no, he played for the Patriots. Wes Welker never played for Denver, did he? No, I guess the Patriots. I
No,
guess
I
he was
think he
always
did,
with the Patriots. 'Cause
Yeah,
I thought he was with that time.
yeah. He
he may have been.
pretty sure Wes Welker was with. Yeah, it slowly got him into Denver.
Yeah, he did play with. Yeah, 2013 to 2014. So yeah, okay. Played with the Patriots before that. I was about to say because he played with them too.
Yeah.
He was pretty good. He was pretty good too.
No, I agree. I think Emmanuel Sanders immediately helps out that offense. I think it gives Jimmy Garoppolo another weapon. I think that'll free up George Kittle, which
Open it up.
never a good thing. Kid's a stud. Dude's a stud. So,
Yep.
so yeah, that's. I will say, okay, one quick thing while we were talking about quarterbacks. You know who has the highest QBR this year so far?
I'm gonna say QBR. I'm gonna have to go with. Brody, who you think?
Jack.
I'm gonna say Jimmy.
Both wrong. And it's actually a guy I didn't rip last week or the other day,
No,
but I
it's
I
not
said
him.
that he's been slacking. It's Kirk Cousins,
Yeah, for freaking
Vikings.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, he threw.
Really? He's been having that much?
Yeah, he's been having an underrated season so far. I mean, he went into I think they play the Lions, yeah, and the Lions were up 14, I believe, and he came back and they won like 42-30. He threw for 4 touchdowns, and I think his QBR right now is a 114.
Speaking of the Vikings, why did they ever trade what's his the guy from Denver? Why can I not think of who's the quarterback that's at Denver right now?
Well, that's Joe Flacco.
Yeah. Oh, okay, not him. There was someone there before him.
The quarterback
Case
was
Keenum?
Case Keenum
Yeah, him. Why did they get rid of him?
because he's
Because
horrible
they had a good season that year.
that year, but he's still horrible.
It wasn't a stable offense.
Yeah, I mean, he went to the Redskins and immediately got benched, and I mean,
I guess
he
he's
can't
with
even
the-
beat out Colt McCoy. So
Oh, yeah, he's with the Denver right now. He's a backup.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
that's
was
weird.
it? What do y'all remember what week it was whenever Kirk Cousin was kind of getting his butt chewed for not passing the ball as much?
no.
Not passing the ball. What is he, Kobe Bryant?
But do y'all remember that?
No.
No, I don't
Well-
ever remember that.
Minnesota, I think, had lost a couple games or something earlier in the season, and Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen were both really pissed off because they weren't getting the ball.
I mean, I don't
Well, those are two good receivers.
blame him.
And then in the past 2 games, this is Stephon Diggs stats. In the past 2 games, he's had 7 receptions in both, 167 yards in one, and 142 in the other. And in the one with 167 yards, he had 3 touchdowns.
Are you talking about Kirk Cousins getting chewed out?
Yeah, for not
They're
getting
like-
him the ball.
Oh,
Like, hey man, stop being Kobe Bryant. Pass the ball.
well, I mean, why would you throw the ball when you have Dalvin Cook?
That's another thing. Dalvin Cook's been so dominant this year. It's like, why even pass?
To
Yeah.
open up his running game a lot more.
I mean, I remember Stephon Diggs wanting out of Minnesota, and then they interviewed him afterwards, and he's like, they were just talking about how, like what the situation was, and he looked at the camera and he was like, no, I want to stay in Minnesota. I like it here. And then he just winked at the camera.
Mhm.
So, but I think, I don't know. That offense is good. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a good
They have
quarterback.
receivers and a running back.
Thielen and Diggs are one of the best 1-2 punches. They have 2 good tight ends, and Kyle Rudolph, who's a vet, and Irv Smith Jr. out of Alabama, and then who's like more of like a slot receiver. Like he's not even necessarily like a tight end. And then Dalvin Cook. I mean, their offense is good. So,
It just seems as though every year they only have like
Well, their defense might
one
not
or
be that
two people really perform. Like last year was Adam Thielen.
right.
The year before that, I think it was Stephon Diggs and Kyle Rudolph.
Mhm.
And Kyle Rudolph's like you never hear anything about Kyle Rudolph now.
Yeah.
Because he sucks, Brody.
That's just because
I
he's
mean,
getting
that-
older and they have Irv Smith. So,
That year that Kyle Rudolph was good, I think he led the league in like touchdowns or something, in receiving touchdowns.
Facts.
it's just that I don't know what it is because their defense like 2 years ago was elite. And
Yeah, well, they lost. Yeah, I think Lewis, Ray Lewis going. I think that was big.
well, he played for
Was a
the
downside.
Ravens, so
I might be too tired right now. I don't
that guy's high.
know.
I mean, they
Oh
still-
yeah, Jarius Wright's not there anymore either.
he's with Carolina,
Uh-huh.
which he's been doing good.
Yeah, he had his best game was week 4 against Houston.
All right.
5 receptions for 59.
Is there any other games or players that you that you guys I don't know want to bring up?
No, there was a lot of games that we already talked about. Other than that, there was no surprises.
Yeah.
I mean, Cowboys winning was a big surprise.
Yeah. Well,
The way
how
they
bad
did it.
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
the
the
way
way.
they did it. Oh, did you see
Jaguars winning.
Did you see the they beat the Bengals?
I know. I was just a kid.
Did you see the Saints DBs taunting Tariq
Oh, yeah,
Cohen?
doing the-
Telling him
yeah.
that
Yeah,
he's short.
that was
That
hilarious.
was funny.
I know. So was Sean Payne was apparently talking smack too.
To Tariq?
Yeah.
Uh.
Whenever that was going on, you can see Sean Payne yelling at him, and then the DBs got into him, and that's when they were doing it. You can kind of see him in the background because they first watched it, and they were saying Sean Payne shouldn't be doing this, and I was like, what? And then I finally saw him. I was like,
I mean, it's all fun and games. I mean, Tariq even tweeted out, he's like, y'all act like I don't know I'm short. So
I know, because people were trying to dude, that's so wrong for them doing that. And he was like, dude, who cares?
it's
I'm
all fun
short.
and game. Tyreek's short, and he's an explosive weapon. Tariq's an explosive weapon. So
Isn't Chris Sproles short too?
Darren,
Yeah,
mean
Darren.
Darren?
I don't know why I said Chris.
your name's Chris.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a question for you guys, and Chris and I were watching this earlier, and they were talking about 2 goats and which one's more valuable. And I would like to hear what you two think about this. So we were watching a podcast, and the question of who is more valuable, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, came up, and there were 2 sides, which was surprising to me because I think obviously I think there's only one answer, but of course, everybody has their own opinion. I'll start with you, Brody. What do you think? Do you think Tom Brady is more valuable or Bill Belichick? Why? And who would you rather keep if you were forced to pick between the two? Like if you were picked between the two, I want Tom Brady or I want Bill Belichick. Who would you take? And then obviously, who do you think is more valuable and why?
I'm going with Bill Belichick.
All
I
right.
think Bill Belichick's more valuable than Tom Brady
Okay.
because Bill Belichick's the one that started this New England Patriots dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one responsible for getting Tom Brady to where he is,
Right.
which makes me believe that he's more valuable. And you can also see that it's very hard because Tom Brady is a GOAT,
Right.
but he's also got a GOAT coach, and I think that's where it comes from.
Yep.
Without Bill Belichick, who knows what Tom Brady could have been?
I agree.
Man. You can also say that maybe Bill Belichick, if he didn't have Tom Brady, he was going to have some other quarterbacks. Like, think about if Tom Brady wasn't with New England right now and it was Jimmy Garoppolo or Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And look at what they're doing this year.
Yeah. That's what I was saying about the whole Baker Mayfield Freddie Kitchens, because Jimmy and Jacoby both were underneath Bill Belichick, and I mean obviously Tom Brady, was a mentor to them as well, but underneath Bill Belichick's eye, just basically mentoring them and developing them. And now Jimmy's 13-2 as a starter, and Jacoby is popping off this year. So I would agree with you. Yeah.
And if I've got to keep one, I would definitely still take Bill Belichick. Tom Brady would be nice. I could see either side of this because if you're going for, what about 10 years from now versus, I want to win right now. If you're looking 10 years down the road, I'd way rather take Bill Belichick, which is my answer.
Right.
I'd way rather have Bill Belichick over Tom Brady right now. Because Tom Brady, even though he's doing really good in his 40s and everything, he's not going to last that much. Well, I'd probably say a maximum like 5 years. Five
Yeah.
more years.
That's fair. I would agree with that.
But if you're trying to win right now, yeah, you'd take Tom Brady.
All right. Chris, what do you think?
Well, one of the guys said, I think, on the show, and it got kind of in my head, was he said, look at the Super Bowls without Tom Brady. And so I was, okay, well, he was a head coach before the Patriots, but he was only a head coach at Cleveland Browns for like 4 years. And he didn't win there. But he did win 2 Super Bowls with the New York Giants as a defensive coordinator. So, I mean, that's not bad, but his defenses are always pretty good. But I'm going to have to go with, I think Bill Belichick is a big reason. Tom Brady was pretty good in college, but he wasn't, spectacular. He wasn't Mr. I'm going to be, the best quarterback in the NFL. I think, Bill Belichick made him who he was. Maybe not like all of it, but I think he helped Tom Brady to figure out how to get it out of him to where he can do all this stuff. I think Tom Brady goes to another team. I think Tom Brady does as good. I don't think he does as great as he's doing, but I think he still does good.
Okay.
It's pretty decent. Maybe a Hall of Famer, but maybe not nowhere a 6-time Super Bowl champion,
Okay.
So I'm going to have to go with, I think Bill Belichick's a big reason for Tom Brady's success. I think you put any other quarterback there, I think they do as good, win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Maybe. You can, like, Phillip Rivers, I think, goes there. I think Phillip Rivers wins the Super Bowl. Drew Brees wins the Super Bowl. Drew Brees probably wins 6 Super Bowls up there. I think, you put he wasn't, we never seen Bill Belichick with a run quarterback. Like,
Right.
it'd be kind of cool to see Michael Vick, if Michael Vick played for the Patriots, see how that would all happen. That would have been crazy. I want to know how that would have worked. That would have just been crazy. But
Yeah.
I think Bill Belichick was more the GOAT, as into he basically made Tom Brady.
Okay.
Now, like kind of a big part of Tom Brady. if I had to keep one, I'd keep Bill Belichick. His defense is always good, and obviously his offense is always good.
Yeah.
So I think, if I have an offense and no defense, kind of like, Arizona, I think keeps that team. I think he can turn that team around within a year with even just picking up people. Maybe not really good, but at least having a 500 season, or no, maybe like a pretty good win season. So I don't know. Bill Belichick and me,
Okay.
I think is more valuable.
And I would have to agree, just because, like you said, it's not the fact that he's just like a good, he's good with quarterbacks and knows how to develop them, but also like what you brought up was the defense. Like his defenses over basically his whole entire career have been elite defenses, and I think that's one thing that I would have to say probably edges him over going with Tom Brady. I mean, people on the guy on the podcast did bring up an interesting point of like we were talking about how many of those Super Bowls are without Tom Brady, of him as a head coach. But then again, I want to say 4 of those, maybe 3, were literally won because of their defense. I
I
mean,
can see that.
even last year when they played the Rams, they literally put up 13 points.
Yep.
Defense, literally defense, held the Rams' explosive offense to 0 points.
There's that one. There's the one against Seattle.
Yeah.
Where they had the pick.
The pick literally defense. I mean, defense is wins championships. So, I don't even know what the argument is for Tom Brady over Bill Belichick. I mean, he's a GOAT. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, quarterback. And to be fair, his receivers over the years, basically his whole entire career, haven't been incredible. I mean, obviously, like Julian Edelman, Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Danny Amendola. Like, I mean, he's had some good receivers. They just haven't been like the studs, like a Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. He had Antonio Brown for a game, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that as having Antonio Brown.
No.
But he's always had necessarily good running backs, like LeGarrette Blount. And then this year he has 2, James White, Sonny Michel, and even Rex Burkhead. I mean, always had good running backs. Always had good receivers. He had Gronk for 9 years.
That was huge.
Huge.
Gronk could catch anything.
And like we've already said, the defenses have been elite. Like he hasn't had to. I mean, you shouldn't have to. I mean, you shouldn't be able to win a Super Bowl when you're playing like the 2 best teams only put up 13 points. You shouldn't walk away with a dub. Now I will say the one Super Bowl that I guess would be a mixture both of Bill Belichick, the defense, and Tom Brady was when they played the Falcons and they were down 28-3, and Tom did. They did wind up coming back. So,
we don't know what Bill Belichick said in that locker room.
Oh, right.
Going.
I mean, I'm not trying to deny the talent of Tom Brady. I'm just saying, like I would have to agree with you guys. If I had to pick between Bill Belichick as a head coach for his entire career or Tom Brady as my quarterback for his entire career, I would probably go with Bill Belichick. Also because he seems to know how to negotiate. Like he literally just walks up and handpicks whoever he wants for whatever price he wants. And it always baffles me. Like it's amazing. So I think I'm gonna have to agree with you guys on that. I would have to say Bill Belichick for.
Well, you gotta have a really good coach, really good talent. I mean, you can look at like MLB wise. You have Bryce Harper, arguably one of the best players in MLB, and he didn't care, and his team did shit, and now they're in the World Series because of that.
That's funny.
It's like someone who's really talented has to have an open mind. I mean, you've seen some talented players come up to the NFL and they can't do anything, and it's because they ain't got a quarterback or a good coach to help them out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What's wrong with the? You bet your sweet bippy, I do. That's what I'm saying. What's wrong with the Browns? Like, imagine Bill Belichick coaching the Browns with all that talent.
I mean, you have Baker. Baker has quarterback talent, but he's just way too cocky. I think he's just way over his head because of last year.
Yeah, that doesn't fly with Bill Belichick.
No, you got Jarvis Landry. You have OBJ. Yes, OBJ is a drama queen, but OBJ is going to play the game as hard as he can until the game ends. But he will do drama on the side. But he's just like, and then you have Nick Chubb. You have a good defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had last year. I'm pretty sure they had the number or one of the top rush defenses last year.
Yeah,
and I think
like
last year, last year or a year before that, they had one of the best offensive line too. You had Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel had talent, but he didn't have a coach to put him in line to get him going. I think Bill Belichick would have put him in line. I think Johnny Manziel would have turned out to be a great quarterback. I think Tim Tebow would have turned out to be a great quarterback.
Yeah. I mean,
but you just you get talent. You go to some coach that don't know what he's talking about, and the next thing you know, you're nobody.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick's going to put you on that track and get you going. It's because we can argue about Nick Saban. Nick Saban at Alabama. Nick Saban's as a good coach. Obviously, we see it's hard to beat Nick Saban twice in a year. Nick Saban gets all talent and makes them who they are.
Yeah,
look at their running backs when they go to the NFL. They don't do good. But again, that's two different leagues. So
yeah.
Well, there's only two that really come to mind that have been doing good.
Yeah.
And one of them's only sustained it, and that's Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's done.
He's done pretty good. And then
pretty good this year.
Is it T.J. Yeldon or whatever?
Yeldon.
Yeah, Yeldon.
T.J. Yeldon
out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's not bad, but he's not top. But you had Trent Richardson, who was
the GOAT,
who was insanely good at Alabama. And then you had Eddie Lacy, who was insanely good at Alabama. But Eddie Lacy was good, but he just turned fat.
The problem with those two guys is they couldn't stay off the cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Hey, Trent Richardson's playing in the XFL, so we'll see how that rolls.
He still has one of the nastiest hezzies I've ever seen. Against Ole Miss, that step back, still one of the dirtiest jukes I've ever seen in college football. That was nasty. I mean, for a big guy like that, he was incredible. For a guy like that to stop and then pick that momentum right back up like that was incredible. I just think, being with did he go to the Colts, then the Browns, or did he go to the Browns and the Colts?
Who, Trent?
Yeah.
Hang on Google.
I think he started with I think he got drafted to the.
It may have been the Browns, and they got traded to the Colts.
I don't think he got drafted to the Browns. Oh, anyway, who did he get drafted by?
Anyway, he's just. I feel like a lot of those guys were system guys, where Nick Saban made them, who they were, and just weren't picked up by the right coaches.
The Browns.
It was the Browns. Yeah.
But yeah.
That's crazy, man. But and I hate people argue why don't Nick Saban go to the NFL? But Nick Saban tried and went to the NFL. He didn't do too hot. Came back. Now he runs, college football. Bill Belichick's well established in the NFL. Number one coach in the world. Nick Saban's number one coach in the world in college.
Just think, though, about this. What if Bill Belichick went down to coach college, but he was still dominant, like as dominant, let's say, as like Nick Saban or something, just to see both of them compete against each other?
Yeah, okay, I like that idea, but it's the same thing I said to the team. If Bill Belichick said, I'm going to college, let's say he goes to Vanderbilt. That team would be loaded with the most 5-star people in the world right now. It'd be like Georgia. It'd be having 5-star quarterback, 5-star running back, 5-star, everyone go. It's just because he's well established. Now, I think it would be crazy if Bill Belichick, before he became Bill Belichick in the NFL, coached in college, but at the same time Nick Saban did. I think that'd be kind of crazy. That'd be like two big heads going at it. But then again, we don't know if Bill Belichick could even done good in college.
Yeah.
All right. How about we get into some next week predictions? To be honest with you, there aren't very many, so I'll pick out 3 games that.
Let's do 5.
There's not 5 good games.
Oh.
Right. I can see if I can squeeze. Okay. All right, we could do 5, I guess. We'll start out with We'll do Eagles at the Bills.
Bills, okay.
Brody, who you got?
I'm taking the Bills.
Bills?
They've looked pretty good all season, 5-1. Eagles coming off a bad loss against Cowboys. I think the Bills are at home as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're not winning.
Okay. Chris?
I'm going to have to go with Buffalo.
You're going to have to go with Buffalo?
Defense is good. I don't think Carson Wentz's offense is ready for it.
Okay. I'm going to actually take the Eagles. I think, okay, so if you look at the film of the past couple of games with the Eagles, the receivers, especially Nelson Aguilar, they have not been helping out. Like, I don't know if you saw that pass last night of Nelson just not diving out for the ball. It was like it wasn't even necessarily like that far out in front of him, but he literally like he was running like basically a deep cross route, and he literally just puts his hands up a little bit and then does like he's finishing a marathon race where he like ducks his head, and the replay like turned and showed like if he would even like stretch his arms out or made somewhat of an effort to dive, would have caught it. So that's what.
I agree. They're off. Their receivers aren't really helping us too much.
Yeah.
Who's the running backs for the Eagles again? What's his name?
Well, you have Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders, and I don't know if
Jordan Howard's there.
and anybody.
Spain.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Miles Sanders is like they're back. They're down back. All right, so y'all got the Bills. I'll take the Eagles. Next game, Panthers at the 49ers.
Oh, that's easy.
All right, Chris, who you got?
You know, I might be surprised by this. Maybe not. But I'm going to go with Panthers play last week. No, they didn't. I'm going to have to go with the Panthers. I think Panthers.
Okay.
I think they've just been playing outstandingly good.
Kyle Allen, baby.
I think they're going to. Yep, they're gonna, first loss to 49ers next.
All right. Brody?
Taking San Francisco.
49ers.
They're at home. They I expect them to win against Carolina.
Okay.
Carolina is even though they have McCaffrey, in terms of defense, I don't think they can hold Jimmy G.
Okay. I'm actually going to take the Panthers as well. Kyle Allen's obviously an upcoming GOAT. I'm not going to say anything about his stats because I'm not going to be the one that's they're going to look back. So yeah, I'm not going to jinx him.
Don't think so.
They had a bye week, so I think they had some time to prepare. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, but I think McCaffrey's the difference in this one. So that's I'm gonna take the Panthers. All right, so moving on, we got the Browns at the Patriots. I'd be surprised if any of us had a different winner here. So I'll start with you, Brody. I'll start with you.
I'm taking Patriots. I mean, there shouldn't even be an explanation.
All right, Chris.
Dude, are you kidding me? Out of 5 games, this is one you're going to pick?
Bro, it was either that or the Steelers and the Dolphins. I mean,
I'm going to go with the Patriots, obviously.
all right.
I think Baker Mayfield's going to have 3 interceptions this game.
Okay.
I'm going 4.
Oh,
I'm
Go
gonna
for
take
broke.
I'm
going
taking the
5.
Patriots, and I thought that I was going to take 5. All right. Moving on. Raiders at the Texans. Both coming off losses. Raiders are actually looking surprisingly good. Not necessarily incredible, but a lot better than I think some expected, simply because they lost Khalil Mack, Antonio Brown, but
Raiders.
Derek Carr's
Raiders
good.
winning it.
Raiders winning it. Okay.
I have Raiders.
Brody.
I'm going to take Texans.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with Texans as well. I think this will be a shootout, low key.
It could potentially
I
be.
think I don't think it would be a shootout. I think this would be like 28-21 Raiders.
You've
Or
got
24-21.
I'm gonna say like 42-35.
You've got two below average defenses up against. The Texans have the 4th ranked offense, and the Raiders are 13th.
Yeah, I mean the Raiders. I mean Derek Carr's playing good. Josh Jacobs is playing outstanding. And then
Yep,
that
he's a good year.
their tight end that was like came into training camp. It was undrafted or something. Darren Waller is
Oh yeah,
off
he's
and got an
really good.
extension. Yeah,
He's really good.
yeah.
Oh.
So I think it'll be a shootout. So I'm gonna
They
take
have a
the
couple.
Texans.
They actually have a couple good. The Raiders have a couple good tight ends.
Do they?
Yeah, because I think there's an LSU tight end that actually has done pretty good for him too.
Okay, so biased. Good tight ends.
Ah!
Oh, he's been doing good. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll pull up his stats while you pull up the next game.
Okay, next game. This will be an interesting one. Packers at the Chiefs. Of course, we know Patrick Mahomes is going to be out 3 to 6 weeks with that dislocated knee, and
See, he has 12 receptions, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't think he's
what's
played a
his
lot
name?
of games. Foster Monroe.
Okay. So yeah,
So-
Packers Chiefs. Mahomes is out. Aaron Rodgers is not. So Brody, who you got?
Man, oh man. I'm gonna go Packers.
Okay.
That's a tough game. I think this one will be a shootout. Honestly, do.
Okay. Chris?
Well, the Chiefs are coming off a big win. Well, not a big win, but dominant win over Broncos. Packers, they just look good though, man.
They do.
They just look good, man. I think it's gonna be quite a kind of a high scoring game. Not really a too big high scoring game, but I think Chiefs pull it out.
Chiefs pull it out. All right, Matt Moore coming in, popping off, throwing
I
dimes.
think backup gets it done.
Matty Dimes.
I mean, they still have Shady, who's still a good running back. Tyreek, Travis Kelce. Receivers are. Their offense is still dominant. The thing, I'm going to go Packers, and here's why. The Chiefs' rush defense is below average, like one of the lower rated rush defenses. And Aaron Jones has found himself with that Packers offense. He has been absolutely tearing it up this year. And so I think he will be the key in this game. I think Aaron Rodgers will be able to just manage the game, manage the clock. I'm expecting like 285 with 1 touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown from Aaron Rodgers, while Aaron Jones rushes for 147 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I'm gonna go with the Packers, simply just because I like the Panthers game. What?
I'm just kidding.
I live in Kansas City, like I should.
Yeah,
go with the
well,
Chiefs.
hey, I was going
Biased.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers.
Nah, man, you're a Chiefs fan.
I think the Packers are looking better than pretty much everybody expected them to be. So I'm gonna go Packers, and that wraps up the predictions. Unless you guys really want to take a bet on like the.
Well, there's nothing really. We can go with the Giants and Lions. 2 bad teams who's going to get their 3rd win.
See, that's just the Lions getting robbed, man. They should have beat the Vikings, but they choked in the 4th quarter, and they definitely should have beat the Packers.
Yeah.
And the refs absolutely handed the Packers a free win.
What happens when you're Aaron Rodgers?
But
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna get Lions.
Yeah, I think Lions are hungry for revenge. So I think they're gonna get back on the win. I don't think the Giants are quite there yet, so I'm gonna go with the Lions.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Lions as well. I think on both sides of the ball. Well, technically the Giants are better at defense, but
Shocking.
it ain't
actually.
really saying much.
I mean, it's kind of a shocking.
Detroit is ranked 31st, and the Giants are ranked 28th.
So they're
They're good.
good
Yeah.
defenses.
They're really good, but I think the difference will be offense. I think Detroit's got the better offense, and they can score more than the Giants.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think at the moment Stafford's a better quarterback.
Mhm.
I think I think a little factor will be if Kerryon Johnson comes back healthy. I don't know the status on him. I know he was out last game,
either.
like after the first quarter with a knee injury, I believe. But the receivers are better with Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones Jr., who had just is coming off like a 3 touchdown game. So I think, and they have T.J. Hawkinson, the rook, for at tight end. So I think that offense is better, which I think is obviously what's going to be the difference, considering those defenses are
Good.
good.
Really good. Best defense in the world right now.
Mhm.
Well, do you fellas have anything else to add?
Guys, y'all need to share this podcast.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a comment. We love reading them. Go check out our last video. Bro, you got anything to say?
Drop us a like.
Heck yeah.
Got it.
Well, all right. This has been another episode of JBC Podcast. I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to, like the guys said, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you know when we're post videos. It's Monday through Friday, and also Twitter is right here, so feel free to drop a follow there as well. And we also,
Yeah, we're about to start posting more on it.
yeah, that way you
Mhm.
guys maybe do some polls to see what to talk about. Maybe just to get some interesting topics from you guys, and then like Chris said, please drop a comment. We love reading them. Give us ideas, critique. Basically anything. We're open. So until tomorrow, that's been real. Peace.
See ya.
Yeah.